Oh, until I started recording, I didn't realize I had stolen my wife's hat to go outside this morning. Fertilizer prices. My gosh, even if people can get it, you're looking at over 10 times what it was per an acre. So generally, depending on where you were in the country, it was like a couple $100 per an acre of fertilizer, which is outside of diesel, which I think outside of diesel is their largest expenditure. Pretty sure it's fertilizer. Now they're looking at over $2,000 per an acre to plant the same amount of crops on the same acre. So obviously the farmer's not going to eat that. They're either going to collect insurance and not even bother, or they're going to be charging a significant amount more for their food. You would have to have, with a 100% increase in diesel, 1,000% increase in fertilizer. I think we can all do the math on where the food prices are going from here on out. Now, obviously, we are eating right now in the stores. We are eating last year's harvest, which was up some already, right? We're probably looking at 25 to 40%, depending on the goods, over the last year in the grocery store. And we're eating last year's crop. So what happens when fall hits and we're eating this year's crop and winter? We'll start eating some of it in the fall, but mostly through winter and then next spring. That's not good. That's not good at all. And with the situation with the supply chains and the war that is going to continue to escalate and have further impacts, it's going to expand. Doesn't look like we're going to be getting massive shipments of ammonium nitrate in anytime soon. So unfortunately, folks, you're going to have to go straight to the source. You're going to have to go straight to a farmer. You're going to have to go straight to your farmer's market, or just get to know the farmer, because farmer's market prices are going to be crazy too. Either do it yourself or get in touch with a local farmer that has some of the products you need. Probably going to have to maybe source 5 or 6 different farmers to get the full assortment of fruits, veggies, and meats that you're looking for, and dairy. But that's okay, because we're heading into local economy, because we're going to have to. We're not going to have a choice. Now, the flip side to what I just brought about was, because that's monocrop pricing, right? These people who have 1,000 acres, 1,500 acres, and it's all soy and corn or wheat or whatever, those monocropping. Think about what you can grow as an individual or as a small market garden on an acre of land. All over YouTube, there's examples of people growing north of $200,000 worth of produce, and flowers and fruit and whatever they do. Roses, there's some rose farms out there, but easily $100,000 on an acre if it's your full-time job. You and a spouse, you and a partner and a helper, whatever the work situation is and whatever your market is. So clearly, when we had cheap fertilizer, we had government subsidies, and we had cheap petroleum, monocropping, though it does massively destroy the soil and ecological habitats of the surrounding area, it was made efficient basically because it was allowed to be made efficient. Well, now the times are changing, and clearly, if more people got into the agricultural game and more people were doing smaller market gardens, we could produce far more food. A garden is far, far, far more productive than an acre of monocrop species. And it's beneficial to the environment. You don't need all these chemical fertilizer inputs. You don't need the pesticides, herbicides, and all that stuff. And you can make a good living doing it. So I think this should just be a wake-up call, because with food prices now easily going to exceed 100% inflation on the food prices, it's time to get back to local food economies, which is where it always should have been. Food should not average 1,500 miles on the back of a semi-truck here in the United States, even further in Canada, to get to its destination. That makes zero sense on energy inputs. We've been at a net energy loss per calorie of food and per calorie expended to get that calorie of food. We've been at a net loss, and it's been increasing for over 2 decades. Probably over 4 decades, to be honest with you, but I was just looking at more recent data. Yeah, it was 2 decades when I first was looking at this 10 years ago. So yeah, at least 3 decades. And it used to be 1 calorie of output for 4 calories of input. I think now it's like 12 or 13 calories of input for 1 calorie of output. So you're running a net negative of over 90%, or 90, or 9x. That's 10x, 140x. Can't think. So we're running, don't ask me to do math right now. Right, so if it's 14 to 1, you're running a net negative of, 14 times more input than you are output. And that's not sustainable, even from just a basic mathematical perspective, not even talking about, soil degradation and ecological issues and excess of transport, loss that we have during transport. So I guess to wrap it up, there's only one way society is going to move, because we can't do it the old way anymore, and nothing's going to reverse this overnight. This is what the rest of the 2020s are going to look like, is us reestablishing local economies, state by state, community by community, and eating seasonally, because that will become a thing. All right, thanks for stopping by.